Hi, this is Dan from MyTrickRC. Today I'm going to show you how to install and operate the Dragon off-road lighting system for your RC vehicle. There's a lot of really cool and innovative features on the Dragon system, and we're going to go through some of those throughout the course of the installation. One of the first really cool things about the Dragon system is that it's a system. It's not just a high-powered light bar. It's actually a complete lighting system for your off-road vehicle. So a typical basic kit that you can find on the MyTrickRC website would include not only the high-powered light bar, but a lighting controller, high-powered headlights, tail and brake lights, or in the case of the crawlers, a roof light bar, same headlights, tail and reverse lights. Another really cool thing about the Dragon is the innovative mounting system allows it to fit onto a wide variety of off-road vehicles. So actually the installation here internally looks almost the same as it does on the scale crawler. So the system is designed to fit almost really any kind of off-road vehicle that you'd have out there. Today we're going to do the installation on this Ford Raptor body. We're going to have a roof light bar, headlights, amber running lights in the front, tail and brake lights in the back, and then we're also going to add in a light bar to the bumper system. Before we get started, let's review the tools that we're going to need to do the installation. These are the tools needed to do the Dragon installation. The first one is a small Phillips screwdriver. The next one is going to be a wrench. You can use this type of wrench. We're going to actually use a 1/4 inch nut driver. It's a little bit easier, a little bit faster. Then for attaching the 3mm LEDs, these would be the brake light, reverse light, running light LEDs. You can use a drill or you can use a hand drill. We prefer the hand drill because you have a little bit more control. Some bodies get stretched thin in certain areas, and when you drill through it they will tend to tear instead of cutting the hole. We feel with the hand drill you get a little bit better control over that kind of stuff. Once these LEDs are installed, we recommend using either Zap Goo or Shoe Goo applied to the wires, because if these LEDs are going to break over time, it's usually right where the wire comes into the LED. That's the weakest point, so if you add a little bit of Zap Goo on there, it will really help reinforce them. You're also going to need a 1.5mm Allen wrench to attach the brackets to the light bar itself. And then lastly, scissors or preferably some kind of a cutter. This is just for trimming the zip ties once the installation is all complete. Let's take a look at what's included in the package. The package that we're installing is the Dragon Short Course Package 2. It includes the Dragon controller itself. The Dragon controller comes with 2 adapter cables. These are quick disconnects. These cables will stay permanently attached to your vehicle, to your receiver, and when you disconnect or separate the body from the chassis, you'll unplug the Dragon right here, and when you're ready to put it back, it's easy to identify and plug them back in. The kit includes a roof light bar as well as a 2-inch bumper light bar and a series of really innovative mounting brackets. What makes these mounting brackets so cool is each one of these brackets can fit onto any one of the Flamethrower LEDs in the series. Also, each bracket can be mounted to either side, and what that means is the flange, the mounting flange, can either go outwards or inwards. Also, something that may not be too obvious, there's 2 mounting points for each of the brackets. These little bumps on here, they're alignment features, so when you're attaching the bracket it kind of holds it in place. Also, because there's a 2-screw system for mounting to the brackets, the light bar is really rugged. It can take impacts and abuse a lot better. It'll hold its position. The kit also includes the Flamethrower headlights. The LEDs on these guys are the same high power LEDs that are used in the Flamethrower light bars. The kit also comes with tail and brake lights as well as amber running lights. Besides that, there's the manual and the necessary mounting hardware. This kit is for the short course trucks, but if you're installing onto a crawler, you have the crawler system of this, which is almost identical. The only difference is for the crawlers, we would add in a pair of reverse lights. So what would happen with the short course truck, the red lights act as tail and brake light. With the crawlers, we'll give that up. They'll only be running lights. So we'll have red running lights and orange running lights, but we add in reverse lights. So as soon as you hit reverse or backing up, the reverse lights will turn on. Let's take a moment to look at the mounting tree that comes with the Flamethrower light bars. The first set of brackets, these are really designed to fit the Axial SEX10 with the Flamethrower 6-inch light bar. It's a perfect fit onto that body. The next two mounts, these are for attaching to a windshield on like a short course truck. That's why it has a kind of a funny angle. And another neat feature about these mounts, they're adjustable. So depending on what kind of vehicle you have or the angle of the windshield, you can kind of set the position for the light bar. The next set of mounts would be used to attach the light bar to the roof. It's a simple bracket. These two guys are a pair, and these two are a pair. These are for mounting to either roll cages or front bumpers, and the difference between this set and this set is really the offset between the two. And then this guy is for mounting the 2-inch light bar to the front of the vehicle. This specific bracket is a perfect match to the RPM bumpers, whether for the Slash, whether it be a 2-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive. It's an exact fit. Or you can get clever and use the same bracket to do other type of mounting systems. With a little creativity, you can come up with other ways to use this. The brackets that we're going to use are the windshield brackets and these two shallower ones for our front 2-inch light bar in the bumper. Next, I took my cutters and cut out the various brackets that I wanted to use for this particular installation. One of the really neat things about these brackets is because they have these little nub features on here, you can put it together and you can take a look at how it's going to be. Make sure you have it positioned the way you want. For example, this bracket, we want it to be set to the middle position. This is the adjustable bracket. You'll also notice that the flange is going towards the inside. After checking it out a little bit, we decided that looked like the best configuration for this truck. So we're going to mount it just like this, right above the windshield. The next step is going to be to put in these M2 by 8 screws to attach the brackets to the light bar. You're going to need a 1.5 millimeter Allen wrench for this. Now that our brackets are attached to the light bar, the next step is going to be to drill the mounting holes and the hole for the wire to go through. The position that we decided on looks like this. So it's right just above the windshield. So what we're going to do, we're going to line it up here, left to right. We'll take a sharp object. You can use a Sharpie also. Just try to make a little mark to get the position of where that first hole is. Do the same thing on this side. Just enough of a mark that you're going to be able to see it. And then with that we can pop the body off and actually drill these holes. Yep, just like this. That one started. This one started as well. When you drill these holes, this is a little bit awkward for the video, but when you drill these holes, you want to try and make sure you hit them from both sides so you get the inside as well as the outside. You get a little cleaner cut that way. Alright, so once we have these two holes set, we're going to want to drill the next set of holes for the second one. There's two options. You can eyeball it, which is what I'm going to do, or you could take the bracket off, measure it, set it. To me, eyeball it, make sure it's in a straight line going backwards, because the slots on the light bar are, of course, in a straight line. Okay, so it looks something like this. Now that we have all the holes drilled, you'll notice that I had added another hole. This is for the wire to pass through, and I made sure this hole is going to be large enough to fit that wire all the way through it. One other thing, we had attached our brackets to our light bar, but because the flanges are pointing to the inside, we can't get our screwdriver access in here, so we had to unscrew this. We're going to attach the brackets to the body first, and then we'll come back and reconnect the light bar to them. The hardware that we're going to use are these 440 screws, the nylock nuts, and the washer. We're just going to go ahead and put the screw in from the top, and the washer and the nut from underneath. We're going to use, of course, our small Phillips screwdriver and our nut driver to get these on here. So now that we've attached the brackets to the body, the next step is going to be to reattach the light bar to the bracket. So we'll take our M2 screws, we'll go ahead and put them back in and just get it reattached. Okay, now you can see how the light bar looks on the body. So the mounts are there. Very simple and clean installation. Our next step is going to be to install the Flamethrower headlights and running lights. To do this, we're going to use our hand reamer or drill. The position that I chose is a little bit towards the outside, a little bit away from the bumper, and then I'll put the amber turn signals right in the middle of the guy there. So the way we go about this, we just kind of pick a position, and ideally it's a position that you can easily find the matching position on this side, so that it's nice and even. And we want to drill a hole that's just about 1/4 inch in size for the Flamethrower headlights. The LEDs on the headlights have a square base, and we're going to put it into this round hole, but the round hole then has to be large enough for the base to sit on there. And since we're drilling, I'm going to go ahead and drill out the holes for the turn signals as well. And these ones want to be about 1/8 of an inch approximately. That's how it looks. And again, we always recommend doing a little drilling from the inside. See those burrs and stuff? We can kind of clean those up real easy with our hand drill. That's one of the things we like about our hand drill. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to grab the Flamethrower headlights and let's see how they fit in there. These are the Flamethrower headlights. They're pretty unique in the sense that attachment really is just based on the sticker. So the kit comes with a pair of stickers. You can see it has a round shape on the outside and a square hole in the middle. The square hole is designed to match the base of the LED, as you can kind of see here. So installation really couldn't be any simpler. We're just going to peel off the stickers, attach the sticker to the board, and then peel off the other side of the sticker and attach it directly to the body. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. Here's how the Flamethrower lights look with the stickers attached. So we just peeled, stuck them on. Now we're just going to go ahead and peel the sticker off and attach it directly to the car body. Now it's going to be really important to make sure that your hole is clean. The hole is large enough. You should actually double check that before you stick it on there. And make sure there's no debris, so that will get in the way of the hole. You want it to be really, really nice and clean, both inside and out, for best mounting. So we're going to go ahead and peel the stickers and bond it on here. Okay, so when we do this, we're going to try to line it so that the LED is kind of square in shape. We think that this looks best. You'll see this in the video here. You can kind of see how the LED is square, sort of to the shape of the body. Okay, that's that one. We'll go ahead and peel off the other one. And then when that's done, we're going to next pop in the little bezels for our amber running lights. For the tail and brake lights, we're installing them the same way as we did the front running lights. We drilled 2 holes. We went with the upper positions on this. Now these lights would actually be really cool if we had dual LEDs for each of the tail lights. It is possible to do that. The standard kit only comes with 2 LEDs on one connector, but it's possible to actually take another set of dual LEDs. You can order these separately on the website. Splice them together so you can have 4 LEDs on one connector, and that would allow you to have basically all of these lights fully populated. So they'd normally be on dimly, and when you hit the brakes they'll go full brightness. So let's go ahead and get these installed. Here's how the tail lights look installed into the body, and this is how it looks on the inside. We went ahead and added a zip tie just to kind of clean it up. At this point we're ready to install the Dragon lighting controller, and this is how it looks. The Dragon controller has Velcro on the base of it. That's how we're going to stick it to the truck. The mode button is actually separate and loose. It's tethered so that you can place it in a more convenient location to access. From the mode button you can scroll through 5 different modes that the Dragon controller has. The first mode is off. The second mode will be just running lights, so just the amber lights and the tail lights. And then there's 3 levels of brightness on the Flamethrower light bar and headlights after that. So you can see the Dragon controller. It has a little mode LED right here. That'll show you, it'll blink to indicate what mode you're on and that you have power. There's 4 black connectors. These are for the flamethrowers, so you can connect 4 flamethrower devices to it, and the white ones are for the standard LEDs. The first connector here will be for, in the case of this installation, it'll be the tail and brake lights. If this was a crawler, you'd put your reverse lights here. And then running lights is always the end port right here. So regardless if it's a crawler or a short course truck, the end port is the one you'll want to use for the running lights. Okay, so with that we're going to go ahead and peel off our sticker and attach this to the body. If we can get this here. There we go. Alright. Just going to kind of put it centrally located on the roof like this. And usually we like to put the mode button in a place that we can get our hand up easily and access. So we'll put it right around here. Right there. Okay, so that's how that's looking. And now we can plug in the flamethrowers. It doesn't matter which order we plug them into. Any black connector can go with a black cable. And then we'll go ahead and attach our tail and brake lights to this port here. And then lastly the running lights to the end port. Okay, so this is how the wiring is looking. We're going to go ahead and attach power, and we'll just run through the modes, see how it works. When you apply power, it takes a few seconds for the Dragon controller to charge up. You can see the LED now, it's on. It was blinking to indicate that it's charging up. Okay, now it's on. If I press the mode button, the LED will blink. It blinked just one time, and now our running lights are on, so our amber fronts and our tail lights are active. The next time I press it, the flamethrower lights will come on at a standard brightness level, and I press it again, they'll get brighter, and the third time they go to insane brightness, and if I press it again, everything shuts off. So basically it scrolls through those 5 modes, and one of the really cool things about the Dragon controller is not only can you adjust that here from the mode button, but once it's fully connected to your receiver, if you have a transmitter with the 3rd channel, then you can actually remotely control the mode button on your 3rd channel. You can scroll right through the modes from your transmitter. Okay, this is looking good. One note about the power input for the Dragon controller. Let me untie this. So there's a little bit longer cables. So coming out of the Dragon, there's 3 cables. This is the power cable. It's designed to power directly off of the balance port of any 2-cell or 3-cell LiPo battery. The controller automatically knows what you've plugged into it and will adjust accordingly. You can also plug an 8.4 volt nickel metal hydride battery into it if you like. Okay, so that's power for the Dragon. For signals to scroll through the mode buttons and to have your tail and brake functionality, those are the signal cables. The cable with the black connector, that's for your tail and brake, and the red cable, or the red connector, this is for the remote switching function. So if you don't have the remote switching function, you can just plug it in or tie it off somewhere, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and shift our attention to the chassis. There's a couple things we need to do. There's adapter cables for the Dragon. The red one is a straight cable, and there's a Y cable for the motor. We're going to attach these to the chassis, as well as we're going to start working on the 2-inch light bar for the bumper. In order to mount our 2-inch light bar into the stock bumper, we're going to use these shallow roll cage bar mount clamps, and the way we're going to attach them is going to be like this. We're going to make them to the inside so that they step kind of inwards, so the top is narrower than the base. And what we're going to do is we're going to clip it onto the bar, and it's going to be kind of like this. Alright, the first thing that we're going to do is attach the brackets to the light bar. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now that we have the brackets connected to the light bar, we can easily install it into the bumper. We just want to slide the cable through underneath that top bar, clip this on like so, and then this will be the final position for the light bar. Go ahead and put these 2 screws in. These are the little number 6 screws. Alright, now that's securely fastened. This cable comes with a quick disconnect, so you can easily separate the body from the chassis. So each time you separate the body, you'll just want to disconnect this and then put it back. Our next step is going to be to open these covers up, and we're going to install the cables for the switch and for the motor so that we can get the brake lights. Okay, so now we can remove the covers of our receiver, and here is the Traxxas receiver. You'll notice there's 2 servo wires connected here. One of them goes to the steering servo, the other one goes to the motor. The one from the motor, in this case, is the one that goes to the controller right here. So what we want to do is make a note of exactly which connector that's the motor cable is plugged into. We're going to unplug it, and we need to feed this wire back through, and then we're going to take the Dragon splitter cable, we're going to feed it into this, and we're going to plug it in exactly where that one came out. And you want to be sure that the orientation of the wires is the same as it was before. Okay, Now your motor servo cable is going to plug into one of these ends. And again, you want to make sure polarity is correct. Okay, this one has a little guide on there that this doesn't receive, so we're just going to cut this off. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and connect it. Alright, so that one's that, and the dragon controller will then plug into this guy, and that's how we'll get the signal for the brake light function. We're also going to want to connect this to the third channel. In the case of this Traxxas Slash, we actually don't have the third channel connected. We'll demonstrate that on a different vehicle, but we're going to go ahead and install it anyway just to kind of show you guys how it would be. So we just feed this in here just like that. Then you would locate your whichever is your third channel, and that one in this case would be the one right next to the one we just plugged in. Okay, so then it looks like this. We're good, we can put our covers back on. And we'll keep a little bit of access out here. This is, again, this is to plug into the Dragon controller. Alright, go ahead and tighten this cover back. Now it's probably a good idea at this point to test the system before you put everything back together. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the body, we'll connect it up, make sure everything is working as it should be. The Dragon has 3 cables coming out of it, the power cable and then the servo cables. We'll go ahead and connect the power and connect the servo cables as well so that we can test the brake light function. Make sure everything is plugged in the correct orientation. It looks like we have power. Let's also connect our front light bar. Okay, and this is how it's looking so far. We're going to go ahead and test our brake light function, and if that looks good, then we'll go ahead and put everything back, tidy up the wires, and go take it for a test ride. Okay, the brake lights are checking out, everything looks good. We're going to put the cover back on the receiver box and tidy up the wires. This is how the Dragon system looks when it's fully installed. You'll notice it's a very minimalistic wiring. A lot of our customers comment on that. We use 4 zip ties, one in the front, one in the back, and then 2 here, one to hold the power cables and one just to kind of bundle up the excess wire right here. We have 1 wire. This is the quick disconnect for the front light bar, and that's basically it. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of Zap Goo and apply it to each one of the 4 standard LEDs. And when we do that, what we want to do is we want to make sure we get some of the Zap Goo on the body and some on the wires. We're trying to support the connection right where the wire comes into the LED housing itself. That's the weakest point, and that's where it'll typically break if it's going to break. Okay, let's get some quick pictures here. We'll show you how this looks with it fully complete, and then we're going to demonstrate some of the functionality on our axial deadbolt. We're going to use this axial deadbolt to demonstrate the remote switching capability of the Dragon. The first mode selection is the running lights, both front and rear. And we have standard brightness, high brightness, insane brightness, and back to off. That concludes our installation of the Dragon system. We want to thank you for watching, and we will close by showing you some examples of vehicles that have been tricked out with the new Dragon system.